Welcome to the Boomer's Guide to a Vibrant Life with Vickie Washburn. Vickie and her guests will share their journey of the golden years and how they're creating a vibrant life. Topics will include family, fun, life, love, travel, and everything Boomer. You too can have the best of your vibrant life now. We are broadcasting from Global Voice Radio every week, and now here's your host, Vickie Washburn.
Hello, this is Vickie Washburn with a Boomer's Guide to a Vibrant Life. And tonight I would like to welcome my dear friend and my guest, Judy O'Higgins. Judy was a psychotherapist for 25 years and at some point decided that she wanted to look for something else to do because she was concerned about getting burned out from the stresses that can be involved with being a psychotherapist and dealing with people's traumas all the time. So if you would welcome Judy O'Higgins with me. I'm so glad to have you, my dear friend. You look fabulous tonight. It's so good to see your face.
Well, thank you, Vickie. It's great to be here and to connect with you. I'm really glad to be here.
And Judy is now a what level executive with Send Out Cards?
It's called senior executive. It's the second to top level.
And you have been with Send Out Cards for how long?
I just hit my 13th anniversary. 13 years. I know.
Wow. You must really love it.
I do.
So just for my audience, let me ask you a couple of little personal questions because they can't see you. They can only hear you.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, would you share how old you are?
Well,
you don't have to be exact. You can.
No, that's okay. I used to have a problem with that when I was in my 60s, but I'm past that now. I got over it. So I am 73.
That is wonderful. You don't look 73. I should be so lucky to be as gorgeous as you when I get to be 73. So that means you were 60 when you started in network marketing.
That's exactly right.
So what attracted you as a 60-year-old to the network marketing model?
Great question. As you said a minute ago, I had been a psychotherapist for many, many years, and I always thought that that was all I was ever going to do and that someday I would retire. And when I hit 60, I began to look around and go, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And like so many other baby boomers, I had not saved enough money to retire. I couldn't. And I thought, I've got to start doing something else. And so what I did was I found this little company, or it found me, and I took a hard look at the network marketing model, and I realized that it had a whole lot of benefits. Because the thing about being a psychotherapist, Vickie, is that, yes, I was my own boss for many, many years, and that was the good part. I love being my own boss. I always have. I love the freedom of setting my own hours and not having to answer to anybody else. However, when I quit working, the money stopped. So if I wasn't in the office having counseling sessions, I didn't get paid. And if I went on vacation, no money comes in for a week. If I went for 2 weeks, no money comes in for 2 weeks. And then I thought, well, gosh, what if I retire? No money coming in at all, right?
Yeah.
So I just had to do something else. And luckily, network marketing found me.
And other than the fact that when you don't work, you don't get paid, obviously there's people that work for companies that have benefits, that get vacation and sick leave and different things when they don't work. But as you said, when you're an entrepreneur, when you own your own business or you're a consultant, then you don't have those benefits. And so you have to build those in yourself by putting money back and saying, this is for my vacation, so you can pay yourself while you're gone. Or this is in case I have an accident and have to be on disability for a while, so you can pay yourself while you're gone. But other than those reasons, what do you think about that makes network marketing a good business model?
Well, a couple of things. And number one, pertaining to what we're talking about here, is the residual income aspect of it, meaning that you work part-time on the side of whatever you're already doing for a few years, and you build up a financial asset that then you can stop working, walk away from, pretty much, if you choose to, and that financial asset will continue to pay you every single month for as long as the company is viable. And that's why it's so important to choose a good, solid company that you know is going to be around for the long run.
And what do you think are some factors that you need to consider when you're looking at a company to be involved with?
Great question. For me, there's two main things. Number one, you have to really love the product or service or products that the company offers, because you're going to be representing them to other people for several years. And so I'm sure you feel the same way. I love sharing my product as much today as I did 13 years ago. And I'm a lot better at it now too.
Yeah.
But because if you don't, if the product doesn't get into your heart, then it's after a while it's going to get to be harder and harder and feel like a lot of work to keep talking about it with more and more people. But if you love it, it doesn't feel like work. So that's number one. And number two is, I think it's incredibly important to check out the leadership of the company, the CEO. Is that person in it for the long haul, or are they just in it for the challenge of building a company and then they're going to sell it and leave? I think that's incredibly important. And to pick a company where you feel very certain that the reps in the field, which is us, are always going to be considered number one with any corporate decision that's made. So it's not about the stockholders. It's not about people, the corporate people at the top. It's about doing the right thing for the people who are representing the products.
I can relate to that so much because, you know how crazy I am about my oils. And even if I quit representing them today, I will never, ever again go without having them.
Right.
They are just part of my life. And I know you send out cards is that way with you, that you just enjoy that personal touch that comes with sending someone a card. It's not just about building a business. It's
right.
about helping people to stay connected with each other, right, and to not let that almost lost art,
right,
of sending cards to people. I was just mm-hmm. thinking about that today. I've got two little granddaughters that are getting ready to have birthdays, mm-hmm. and I'm out of town. And so as I'm driving home thinking about talking with you, I'm thinking, I need to go get their birthday presents, and I need to go somewhere and get them a birthday card and write them a note and get it in the mail so that they will have it on their birthday, because I won't be in town to deliver it to them. And I know for a lot of people, doing that has just, writing letters, sending cards has become kind of a lost art.
Right, because they don't have the time, and everybody's so busy these days, and that's why, our company has figured out a way to get around the negative part of all that. So
right, and everybody's gotten so used to the internet, they think they can just send a Facebook post and that's good. But when you're 3 or 5 years old, it's not good.
That's correct.
Or if you don't have a computer or a smartphone or whatever,
That's right. That's right.
I know for a lot of seniors, just getting that note in the mail is just such a boost.
Absolutely right. So both of us have a deeper purpose for our products.
Right.
You're making a difference in the world with people on a physical level, and I'm making a difference in the world with people on an emotional level, sending out positivity and gratitude and appreciation and love and all those good things.
Yeah, just makes them feel good to get that little note and know that somebody was actually thinking about them.
That's right.
I know my grandmother used to, on her birthday, she would always report to us, I got 45 birthday cards, or I got 23 birthday cards. And so it was a big deal to her, it was.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, we just don't get them hardly anymore.
Right. So anyway, I think that as both of us have demonstrated, being in love with your product makes it so easy to recommend it to other people. It really does. And as long as you feel really good about the management, the leadership of your company, when you have those two things in place, I think everything else can be dealt with. I mean, all companies, whether it's regular business, corporate America, network marketing, whatever it is, all companies have ups and downs and have glitches and have, something didn't get delivered on time or whatever. But as long as those two things are solid, then I think that you're in the right place.
Right. Totally agree.
Yeah.
So, how do you think that being in network marketing or direct sales can be especially beneficial to those of us approaching retirement, over retirement, maybe been retired for 2 or 3 years and are bored with it, ready to stay active in life?
Right.
I'm wondering how to do that.
Well, let me address the board part first, because I know you know this, Vickie. There's a social aspect to our business. Network marketing is not the same as regular selling. It's not the same as regular sales because it involves building a team and it involves creating relationships in order to have a strong team. And I'm sure this is true for you. I've become very close to several people on my team, and we're now lifelong friends, and we do things together. We have fun together. We go on trips together, and we create a lot of memories together. And those are all things that are side benefits of being in this kind of business where you work as a team. And part of our business model is that I can't succeed and go to the top on my own unless I help a bunch of other people and raise them up to be leaders and to be successful as well. And see, as that so appeals to the counselor part of me, the part that wants to help other people, right? So for me, it's perfect. It's a perfect business model. If I help enough other people succeed, then I'm going to succeed too. And like I said, the social aspect is big, and that means a lot to me. So that's the social part of it. I think part of what makes it really appealing in other ways is that you don't need a lot of prior training. You don't need a lot of prior experience. This is something that anybody can do with a little bit of training from their company and their sponsor. And so literally anybody can do this. The thing that you you do need to have in order to be successful is more like qualities of perseverance and putting things into perspective when little things go wrong or you have a setback. And personally, I think the older we get, the more capability we have of those things, because we've lived long enough to be able to put life in perspective, whereas somebody who's younger sometimes tends to overreact to things and say, oh my goodness, I can't do this because somebody said no, or I can't do this because, whatever,
FedEx screwed up, or
yeah, right. And
we don't sweat the little things anymore.
That's right. That's exactly right. So I think that's another reason. You can do your business from home. There's no commute. You don't have to get dressed up, buy a bunch of clothes, get dressed up, and drive to an office, and go on someone else's time schedule. So I think for people who are retired or want that kind of a lifestyle, then I think it's really perfect. Honestly, I do. And by the time you get to be our age, we've already, our network, if you will, our group of people that we have connections with has grown and grown, most of us anyway, over the years. And so we have a lot of people to connect with. So I think if there was a challenge to those of us boomers being successful, the only challenge, and I know I experience this, I don't know if you do, the only thing I think would be maybe more of a challenge to us than the younger people is the technology part of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be a learning curve, shall we say, for me anyway. But aside from that, which is not insurmountable, I just need maybe a little more help than somebody who's 40 in learning some of the technology stuff. Like, for example, the technology you're using right now to do this interview. I'm just learning it, and I'm going to have someone sit down with me in 48 hours, actually, and teach me exactly how to do what you're doing. So I'm excited.
It's so easy. You're going to love it.
Oh, good.
One of the things you said about the social aspect of it, I know being a consultant who has worked from home, the job that I do as a consultant does not require that I get out. And so I did find myself not getting out. And so sitting at home way more than I should have been. And I'm a pretty social person. And so one day I kind of looked up and went, maybe you should get dressed and go out to lunch with somebody, because I think it's been a little too long you've been sitting here.
Right.
And I know that also one of the things that has been really good for me in growing my business is that I have grown myself by reaching out and learning more leadership skills and doing some self-work that I needed to do. And that has led me to retreats where I met you, which is another aspect. When you're growing as a leader, not only do you connect with the people on your team, but you connect with other pretty amazing leaders that can also become lifelong friends. And that to me has been a really fun aspect of being involved in this business. And honestly, I don't think I would have ever met you if I had not been in this business, because I probably would have never gone to the retreat where we met.
Exactly.
And
me either.
And so, and it's given me travel opportunities to get to go to those fun places.
That's right.
So that's always nice to give you a good excuse to go somewhere and hang out with some pretty awesome people. And
And write it off as a tax
deduction. And, get to eat good food and make good friends. And, that first retreat where I met you led to me having this radio show and being a co-author in a book. And I'm getting ready to co-author another book. And just so many things have come out of that. And it all started with being involved in network marketing.
Exactly. And you're so right, Vickie, about the personal growth and personal development. It's been said that network marketing is a personal development program with a compensation plan attached. And there's a lot of truth in that.
And people think, oh, well, once you get to be 60, 70 years old, you don't need to be doing that anymore. But that is just so not true. It's actually seems to me like once you get to be that age, that's kind of what midlife crisis is all about. It's kind of doing that self-work. Mm-hmm. But once you cross over and say, okay, well, I've had my little crisis, it becomes creativity. I like to call it midlife creativity.
Love it.
And you want to grow and change and be more content and happy and surround yourself with good, happy, growing people, young, old, all ages.
Absolutely.
And it's a good way to stay connected with younger people.
That's right. Because people of all ages can benefit from a network marketing business, like the stay-at-home moms who want to stay home and raise their kids and not have to go back to a job and have someone else raise them. I mean, they're joining network marketing in droves.
They are.
So all ages.
And retiring their husbands. How fun is that? And, the other thing about network marketing that I think is amazing, we've been hearing all this talk, about since the election, when Hillary was running, about women breaking the glass ceiling. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing in network marketing. There is no glass ceiling for women.
Right. That's right. The computer doesn't care.
No, you get exactly what you put into it.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether you're male or female.
Right.
And even though there is still some disparity probably between the number of highly successful men network marketers compared to women, I don't think that it's the business that is keeping that from happening. It's our own mentality.
That's exactly right, Vickie. And that's what I address in the women's retreats that I run. These things in here as women that keep us stuck and hold us back. But you're right, they're not. Because in any network marketing company, what I mean when I say the computer doesn't care is anybody who brings, say, 10 customers to the company, they're going to pay you.
Right.
They don't care if you're young, old, black, white, if you're, as our CEO says, you can come from Yale or you can come from jail. The computer doesn't care. It's going to pay you the same amount of money.
Right. It doesn't matter what's on your resume.
That's right.
It's a matter of how well you work your business.
Exactly.
And that's the other thing is wonderful is it's your business. Mm-hmm. I mean, they put a few rules on you just to protect the brand and, the integrity of the company and the products. And other than that, they pretty much let you do whatever you want. You can market it by doing nothing but sitting behind the computer and doing ClickFunnels and Facebook ads, or you can run it by knocking on doors. Or I know that you call on a lot of corporate customers and work with a lot of corporate entities. And, there's just so many different avenues.
You can have home parties if you like doing that kind of thing. You can, have people over to your home and make it a big social event and just do a little presentation while they're there. Or, if you don't want to do that, you don't ever have to do that. You can do it some other kind of way. You can go to, like, as you say, I meet a lot of people who in business because they're perfect for needing what I have for to appreciate their customers in their business. And so I go to a lot of business networking events And I love that, and that works for me. But some people hate that, and they don't have to do that. You can pick the ways that work for you.
Right.
Yeah.
You can go to a mommy and me thing and just
That's right.
wear your, what do they call those, doula? What do they wear, those wraps with the babies? And
Oh,
I wish we'd have had those when I had kids. I had
really.
Yeah. I would have had to have 2 of them wrapped around me.
Right. So another thing is you have all the tax benefits of a business owner, but you don't have to put out thousands of dollars to start your business. You don't have to have a brick and mortar building and hire employees and stock products and have a lawyer and all that stuff. I wouldn't want to do that. Luckily our companies do all that part. All we have to do is talk with people. You fall in love with your product and share it with people and talk with them about it. That's it.
Yeah, that's simple.
And you build up this residual income again that will, over time, will pay you every single month over and over and over and over. And I am so grateful, Vickie, that I have that now, because as you know, about a year ago, I lost my husband, and there are people in that situation, women who, freak out, like, what am I going to do? And because of my business, all the time he was sick and I was taking care of him, I still had money coming in every single month from the work I've done the past few years. And I'm so grateful. This is exactly why I started network marketing, for financial security. And it's helped me so much. Wow. Think of all the women out there that would be so grateful and their lives would be so changed. Not that they all want to be millionaires, but just to have an extra $1,000 a month. It breaks my heart to think of seniors who have to choose between taking a trip to go see their kids or their grandkids and paying the rent. What if you could do both? Which you can with our business.
Yeah. I love that too. And the fact that it's, I have friends who have experienced this situation where they were stay-at-home moms. Husband took care of everything. They took care of the home, but husband took care of the money, took care of the finances, and bought their car for them, and did everything. And then their husbands passed away, and they weren't old enough to draw Social Security, so they were stuck trying to find a job for minimum. And after that long, you can't walk in, even if you have a law degree. After 30 years, you can't walk in and draw, lawyers' wages. And so, they were stuck getting jobs at minimum wage just to try to survive. And that's a sad situation. I had one friend who literally had to sell her home. Her husband left them extremely in debt, which she had no idea about. And then had to try to find work and, just trying to keep her head above water. And it was a struggle for a while till she found her footing. And I think every day how wonderful it would have been for her to have had something,
Right.
Just a little something all along the way.
That's right.
That was hers.
That's right.
And I know that that's probably not as common with some of the younger generation as it is with our generation and even some of the older generation. But I do know that even for me, even though I have worked my whole life and I have made a good salary and I've made good money as a consultant, when my husband left 4 years ago, my biggest fear was, how am I going to do this by myself? What happens if I get sick?
Right.
Who's going to pay my bills?
That's right.
You know, what happens if I have a wreck? What happens if I can't get any jobs? What happens if, you know, and it happened to me. The oil and gas business took a crash. Work kind of dried up for a little bit of time. Thankfully, I had enough to kind of ride it out. But it was getting scary. You know, it was getting real scary. And I literally walked in faith. And it just made me more determined to grow my network marketing business, so I don't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
And so I don't have to live on Social Security only and possibly apply for, you know, state aid. I don't want to have to do that.
Right.
And I know most of us don't. You know, we want to continue to live the life we've lived.
That's right.
And that includes being able to be mobile and have friends and feel like we can go out to dinner with people and go to the movie and be social and travel. I'm fortunate that my grandkids all live close, but you know, there's a lot of people, their kids, my sister's got one on one coast and at one point had them on opposite coasts of the country, you know.
Exactly. And that was my point earlier when I said, you know, it's tragic to have to say, I can't afford to go see my family.
And your family many times can't afford to help you come because they're raising kids and, you know, have tons of bills because kids cost money.
Right. Can't get time off work, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. It just gets to be a lot. And so
this can make the difference.
Yeah. It can make such like you said, $500, $1,000.
That's right.
Doesn't have to be $1 million.
That's right.
But there's an awful lot of millionaires in this kind of business. You know?
That's true.
So one of the other things I would like to ask you, I am part of a couple of Facebook groups that are mostly boomers. And somebody asked on one the other day about what are your dreams? And I was really kind of shocked at how many boomers said, I don't have any dreams anymore.
Oh.
I thought, how sad.
That is sad.
So.
Wow. That really hurts my heart to hear that.
It hurt my heart too. You know,
it kind of sounds like they've given up on
life.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, that's scary. So tell me what your dream or your goal for the future is. I know one of them.
Okay.
Is it still your goal to get an RV and travel? And
you know, it's kind of up in the air, only because I'm not sure physically if I'm up for it. I'm not sure. I'm looking at having some knee surgery this summer, and so that's going to kind of slow me down a little bit. So I'm not saying no.
Only briefly.
Yeah. Yes. And
then you'll be the bionic woman.
There you go. Yes. I'm also looking at some point moving back to San Diego, and I know where I want to live, and I'm putting things in place for that to happen. So that's pretty exciting. And gosh, business-wise, I have a goal of reaching that top position in my company this year, and there's a little incentive for me to get there by the end of the year, or a big incentive actually. So I'm very excited about that. And in the meantime, I just finished putting on another women's retreat, and I just love doing that so much. So I want to do more of that. And my partner and I are looking at doing it twice a year instead of once a year. So that's happening. So I really don't have time to worry too much about the future, because I'm too busy, you know, doing
living life now.
Yeah, living life now.
So do you have a retreat on the books?
It's not on the books yet. We're we're thinking about possibly doing it in a different location, still in Arizona, but a different location. We kind of want to go look at it. We have one in mind. We kind of want to go scope it out. So it's just a matter of taking the time to do that. Yeah. It's kind of up in the mountains more.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And it would be maybe in September or October or somewhere in there. Yeah.
Well, and I still want to come and see you before you leave Arizona, because I want to just go putz around Sedona and here and there with you. And
absolutely. So, I would love that, Vickie.
Oh, I would too. I would really love that. So do you have a website you want to share with us?
You mean company website or?
If that's, yeah, whatever.
I would love to share it. Yes. And there's a little 3-minute video right on the front that gives a little overview of our company and what our products are, which are cards and gifts. So it's sendoutcards.com/Judy O, JUDYO, sendoutcards.com/Judy O.
Well, and I can tell you the wonderful, sweet little gifts and cards that you've sent me have just been so appreciated. My little angel sits right by my chair in the living room.
Thank you.
So I look at it almost every day.
Oh, that's great.
So is there anything else you want to share with us? You said something about a list. You had a list. Did we cover everything?
Oh, about network marketing. I think we pretty much did. We talked about tax benefits. We talked about residual income. I talked about how I can't succeed unless I help others succeed, and how wonderful it is to be your own boss. I think both of us, Vickie, at this point would be kind of unemployable as far as
not
being
very good employees.
I know. Oh dear. That you have flexible hours, you set your own hours, and it doesn't cost a lot to start your business, just a few $100, as opposed to if you started a traditional business, you'd be getting a loan from the bank and you'd be doing all those things that we talked about earlier. The whole concept of leverage, meaning that you help your team and then you get a little percentage of everything that they do in return for helping them, which is totally fair. And that creates leverage. So, for example, if I put in 5 hours a week in my business and I have 5 other people on my team and each of them puts in 5 hours a week, so that's 25 hours from them, and my 5 is 30 hours. So I get to benefit from 30 hours of work and I only put in 5. That's leverage, and that's what happens all the time in our business. And so it's huge benefit. We talked about the personal growth and that there's no glass ceiling. And we talked about how great it is to have relationships and fun and friendships that develop along the way. So I think we covered it.
Well, I have just so enjoyed spending time with you tonight. I enjoy spending time with you every time we get the opportunity.
Well, thank you. Same here, Vickie.
And I hope that we get to see each other face to face again very soon.
Me too.
And I just want to say again, Judy's website is sendoutcards.com/Judy O.
Yep.
Yes. So
Thank
I'm going
you
to
for having me. This has been so fun.
It has.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to say goodnight tonight. This has been A Boomer's Guide to a Vibrant Life. Go out and have a vibrant week.
Good night.
Host of The Boomer's Guide to a Vibrant Life, Connect with Vickie at www.globalvoiceradio.com. Tune in next week for another edition of the Boomer's Guide to a Vibrant Life on Global Voice Radio, where your message and your voices are heard.